Look at all these solar controllers. I'm working on getting that biggest one wired in now. Man, is it big though, so I think it's turning into a little bit of a battery box rejiggering because it's a big controller and I don't love the way some of the wiring looks in the boat.
Our boat, Calico Skies, has been undergoing a major refit over the last few months. Most recently, receiving a revamp of our steering system.
That's working, so.
We've finally completed most of the bottom work now and have moved on to the interior.
Damn, she looks good.
This is just like a rat's nest now that I started breaking it apart. So I'm just kind of sitting here and wondering, what is the creative solution to sort of clean up all this wiring? Where can the controllers go where they're organized? And it's not easy because the boat is small and we have a lot of power. I mean, in fact, we're running 4 solar controllers and 5 Battleborns and a starter battery. This makes it pretty full, so yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. The vision here is that this is going to be hinged and we're going to install components on the underside of it. So we like hinge it up and then have positive and negative distributions.
To take a step back, Bill's wiring, and he's adding, where are those big ass things that we don't have space for?
We're adding this.
So he's adding these things that are called...
This is the negative distribution.
Also referred to as a negative distribution bus.
This is for the negative side, I'm adding this. The positive loads, this is a 600 amp bus bar.
Also referred to as a positive distribution bus.
It's gonna have inverter, windlass, DC to DC, 75 amp solar, 50 amp solar, inverter, windlass.
These 2 things we need to fit in here, and I believe there's something else that also needs to go in here that's not in here currently.
A Class T fuse.
Oh, Class T fuse. I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
And a switch.
Oh, right.
To turn off the lithiums.
Yeah, so basically, to make this situation better and safer and more organized, we need more physical space. Because how many batteries did the boat originally have?
Just 3.
Yeah, just 3. So we've completely maximized the space, and we thought about ways to expand on it, and we've decided we're gonna cut...
There's a void in here I can't get to, all the way to the hull.
Right, there's all this like unused space. And so we're gonna put a hinge, we're gonna make a couple cuts, put a hinge, and have an opening door here so that we have a little more space for all those things that we just talked about. And we are not doing this alone. We also have the help of Mike, who's one of our boatyard friends. He's a smart dude. He's done a lot of boat work, and he has actually helped us come up with the idea to put the hinge in. We hadn't thought of that part. But anyway, he's gonna come over and
I think he's gonna help me make the cut.
He's gonna help Bill make the cut.
I've never actually used a skill saw before, and I don't think my first time should be in the cabinetry of my boat, so
yeah,
I'll watch and learn.
Mike's dad has like a wood shop, and so he's really good with these types of things.
Alright, here goes nothing.
Smells good.
So you made it all the way through, that's nice.
Sweet.
Just
Nice
like
job.
that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Dust it off outside.
Oh,
That was pretty good. I mean,
thanks so much, Mike.
that's way better than I would have done. Yeah, you can't catch yourself on that or anything. It's not as like sharp.
Right, and it's less likely to chip out or whatever, you know.
Kind of like takes the edge off, literally.
Yeah, definitely. I would also even recommend to do it on the
Board itself.
board
that's a good
itself.
idea.
But this one we can do outside, so we don't make such a mess in here. But
That's a router you just used?
yeah, it's a router with a 1/8 roundover bit, and they make these in all different, you know, sizes. That's how this was rounded over, was with a router.
Hey, Roscoe. So I am walking around today filming what we call B-roll, which is just setting type images if you were thinking about a story, and just kind of like generic little pictures of things we see all the time in the yard that help kind of like recreate our life here. Because, you know, in a 20-minute video, we're consolidating a bunch of days. And so I think it's really powerful to get that kind of imagery. And I got lucky today because when I first got here, I was able to film the boys helping Dave put his CenterBoard in. And that was cool because that's the kind of stuff that goes on in the yard all the time that I never get footage of.
So this hinge goes in here like this.
There's 6 bolts, 3 on each side that go up, so they just need to be started while we're holding it in place, and then somebody right behind them with the...
That thing too, or you think it's good just up here? Huh? You think it's good just up here, or should I put some on the hinges too?
Put it everywhere.
1, 2, 3.
You guys need a little bit further back.
Further back. Pull the line, Marla.
Ease it. Okay. There he goes.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
That's him. Get it all started. Like NASCAR, which side's gonna win? Who's quicker? Come on,
Demetrius. Tire. Come on. Get that tire on, damn it.
It's kind of my mission today to try to get a little bit more of that on film, because like the yard vibe, I guess is what I'm trying to get on film, is incredible here at Cabrales. Everyone's just, it's just such a tight community and everyone's doing really challenging stuff.
So that's worked for me before. So if we get this.
So everyone shares information and supports each other, and yeah, I'm really hoping to capture some of that on film, not just kind of like what we're working on.
Wiring up solar charge controllers.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fun times.
More of the electronics.
I love your little workstation. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Mise en place, you know. All the things in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to end up doing is building a template and putting a shelf here and then mounting so the cables stay fixed.
Now that we created access to this new space, it's time to build a shelf so that we can mount various electrical components. The goal of this rewire is to streamline and better organize our wiring. Over the years, we've added various electrical devices, and as a result, though every wire is properly fused, the fuses are usually in line and not installed in an organized manner. This time around, we are centralizing all of our fuses, as well as the negative connections. While we're at it, we're moving from MBRF fuses to Class T fuses, as recommended by ABYC, which will protect the wiring from our lithium batteries, which require a higher interrupt rating.
Bill just asked me what he's gonna do, but I think it's kind of funny because
One of us should know what we're doing, and it wouldn't be you.
no idea.
Look at this rat's nest. Where do I even start? Oh, don't break my connectors. This is really why
I mean, this part looks really good.
I know. I just have to move all these
deal with
wires
this.
here. So this is like, this thing is going to move there. So I'm going to have 2 positives. This negative is all going to go there, and I'm going to try to label make her as much as I can.
Oh yeah, hon. Get your label making in there.
Give me a kiss. Time to go.
Good luck, friend. Yeah, I know you got this.
Yeah, I just got to start doing it. I mean, the good thing is we're not living on board the boat, so it's a great time to shut everything down.
This is one of those times where we're giving ourselves a pep talk.
Yeah.
On camera.
I'm like convincing myself.
Trying to convince ourselves as to why we need to do this.
After too much time staring at the battery bank, it's time to start digging into the project and begin the process of breaking down all the connections. The challenging part was keeping track of what wires we removed and what fuse/wire size is appropriate. I created a spreadsheet to help keep track, but this is definitely one of those projects where I woke up at night thinking about wires. Batteries are all out of the way, which is making it easier to do all the wiring cleanup. Particularly, Had to get rid of these old house wires, which is this. Don't like the way the terminals look. These are original to the boat. And I also need to add some straps to keep the battery secure. I had been using these, so in the event of a rollover, the lid wouldn't open, but that's obviously not the right way to do it. So we just kind of installed these batteries in Panama City and kind of moved on up the coast. So now is the time to take them all apart and do it right. There's obviously no power in the boat at all, so it's a good thing we have an apartment. But yeah, this will be, I'll feel much better when all this wiring's cleaned up. It gives you, I woke up early, like 7 o'clock, gotta wire the batteries. It kind of, yeah, it's like a rat's nest and you're trying to untangle it in your brain. So hopefully I get this done in the next few days. So I just pulled this off. One of my buddies here, Dave, said if you see electrical tape on anything, there's no good reason for it. This is the main ground that goes to the side of the shunt for our house bank. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace this because it's old and just doesn't look that great. That's the last major wire I think I'm gonna need to run for at least for the house side. I wanna get the batteries back in so we have power on board. So I'm going to make a new 2-watt cable for this. You can see it's not heat shrunk, just not done right. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, that's the crimp done. Uno más. Find it easier to do this if you get the crimp just kind of locked into place first in the hydraulic. So, you know, it's no tension, but it's also in position and ready to be cranked on. So then you could just fix that wire, put this guy in. That's nice and crimped. Now you tell me, which one would you rather have hundreds of amps flowing through on its return to ground? SA? Oh, SA. This battery cable crimping process will be repeated dozens and dozens of times over the next few days as I complete the battery rewiring.
Okay, so 5 days later.
5 days later, almost everything is pretty much run except the wires are in. We don't have the solar panels aren't hooked up yet.
Bill can barely talk. So Bill is back in the battery box today. I just got here, I was editing this morning. Making him lunch, and I thought I would film this because basically Bill, much more than me, has been just surviving on peanut butter. This refit, the occasional taco, someone has energy to get it, but yeah, either peanut butter on bread or peanut butter on pretzels, and we don't really have water, so we can't do dishes, so we make it with like whatever's lying around, which at the moment is a plastic spoon that I brought because I brought yogurt to eat for lunch.
Are you responsible? Thank you! Bundle all the wires in there. This is our 5th battery. And the reason you have to know for lithiums is we're drawing all our positive loads out of the first battery, which is here, and then it pulls all the way through, and then the negatives go out the last battery. So they all get evenly hit.
Order matters.
For amp draws. Righty, so the wires are all pretty much run, I'd say. The solar panels are not done, so the wires run to the box where the solar is going to go, and then you need to do DC to DC, but the bulk of the wiring is done. Pretty snazzy. It looks pretty clean. Gotta get the rest of the batteries in and start making connections.
Okay, I just finished a video and I'm feeling a lot better, just in general. So I am attempting to edit in the car right now, trying to get as much work as I can done before my surgery, and honestly just had a little breakdown and cried, and just wanted to put it out there just to keep it real that it definitely is a struggle to manage what's going on with my health and the boat, and going back and forth to Arizona. I tried to move some appointments around earlier today, so I can get as much time down at the boat as possible before my surgery. And I had the wrong date in my calendar, and I just tried a few times to do a narration on the boat, and Bill just like slammed his knee into something and dropped a bunch of tools a few times. And I don't know if I'm just like really overtired or stressed with everything that's going on, but I just feel like I can't take the noise in there right now. And yeah, it's just not having our home and knowing we have so much more work to do before we can have a home back, and our personal space and our routine and our things that make us happy. So it's just hard. It's just really hard to balance all that when you don't have an end date in sight. Real life editing in the Suburban, sanders going off everywhere. The reason I'm here at the yard working and not working at the apartment is that whenever I work at the apartment, the chance that something happens that I need to film is just always there. And the problem is that Bill can't really control necessarily like the flow of these projects. And so when I'm here, the filming quality is better, which makes the editing better because then I'm capturing everything I need while it's happening. And we don't have to try to constantly think about what we do and don't have filmed. And so it's just, as much as I humanly can, it's better for me to be at the yard even on days that I'm editing. And so that's why I'm here and not at the apartment. I'm going to check out the boat. Bill told me that he's done a lot of cleaning, so I'm pretty excited to see that. And we're gonna finish a project and I'm gonna film and stuff. So I'm gonna walk over there because it's only a mile away.
Decided to come, yeah.
Okay.
Fabricated these little blocks out of G10. It came off another project that we were doing years ago. This used to be our old battery straps. But I'm using them because they're strong and they're around, so that this hinge when it closes isn't resting on the battery stuff, meaning the switch, the fuses, the DC to DC. So this is going to be above, and this is what this, so when we're sitting on it, it gets the strength.
G10's a really
G10's really strong.
flat, strong composite.
Yeah.
It's actually fiberglass laminate. I didn't realize.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go take a grinder and make this a little bit smaller. Figure out today's punch list for tomorrow's.